Okay, here we go. Skills training week 3, skill number 2 tonight. And we have a little fly that is just going to have to go, buddy. I'm so sorry. You're going to have to get out of here. Tonight is skill number 2, but week number 3 of our brand partner certification. And I'm so glad you're here. If you're on live, hi, Heather, to our first viewer, and hi to the replay viewers. All right, so tonight is skill number 2, which is inviting prospects. And I'm really excited about tonight because it's a huge one. It's one that most people are terrified to do. And it's one that if you can master this, you just like, hi Ashton, just like the other skills. Remember, this is the reason we teach skills is because this business is compiled with 7 different skills. And when you know how to do those skills and you feel really clear on how to do them and you feel confident in them and you are a network marketing professional who knows exactly how to do these skills, the potential of what you're capable of in this business, in this industry, is absolutely insane. And so you're going to notice throughout these skills training which ones you are weak in. And then it is your job as the CEO of your business to go in and figure out how to grow and watch these videos and study them and read even more on them until you feel like just a total pro in this area. So hi, Whitney. Hi, Mom. Hi, Bethany. So good to see you guys. All right. So tonight we're going to do skills training on inviting prospects, which is skill number 2. And hi, Whitney. Me too. I know. It makes me excited too because I'm working on these things and I'm going and watching YouTube and I'm going and listening to podcasts to prepare. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I see my own holes. And here I am at Diamond with holes that I'm like, if I can get to Diamond with holes, blatant holes in my skills or ways that I can level up, ways that I can do better. Oh my gosh, how exciting. So, all right. So first I want you to know that whenever I went today to study and look at, what are the industry professionals saying? How are they saying to invite? How are, people like Eric Worre and Fraser Brooks and, all these people that I follow and admire, how are they inviting? What's interesting and what's so fascinating to me is there are very few people who are doing it and teaching it in a way that I can get behind and that I can promote and say, this is the way I want to invite. And the reason for that is a lot of the way that they're teaching, and I think because we are all very aligned in this group and in this team, you're going to feel the same way. These people are saying things like, all right, what you're going to do is go into a Facebook group and you're going to cold message a bunch of people and say, hey, I met you in this group. How are you doing? I have a product that's changed my life, in the same breath. And to me, for some reason, it feels like I have not authentically earned that right to have that kind of question or to pop that kind of question. And to me, it gives a bad name to the industry. Now, are there times where it's the first interaction and it feels like the right time to share, hey, I know we just met, but you just mentioned something and I can invite you to learn more about what I have? Yes, there are times for that. And we're going to talk about the delineation. But what I'm going to tell you right now is that our goal of inviting is not to check a box for how many people we want to invite in a single week. Because what I know for a fact is that there are people that could go out and they could invite, 200 people a day. They could be sending cold messages for 200 people a day. And yeah, maybe one person out of that 200 would respond and maybe not. You can do the big number game, but for me, the fulfilling side of it is the relationships. For me, the fulfilling side is getting to know people and actually having that connection. And so we're going to talk about that. That does not mean, though, that it's lackadaisical. And we're going to talk about the difference. Okay, so I have so much to say, and I need to just kind of probably stop talking about what we're going to say and dive into what we're actually talking about. Okay, so here's the thing. The goal of the invitation is not to get somebody to purchase something. The goal of tonight, what we're talking about, inviting people, the goal is to invite them to something that is to further teach them what it is that we have to offer. So further education and further understanding. It is not to send them a link and have them click the button and have them enroll. It is not for that. So instead of thinking, I'm going to invite them to order, change that. Tonight, we're talking about how to invite prospects for further education and further understanding. That is baseline, if you know for a fact that what you have is awesome and the products that you have are awesome, you don't have to worry so much about their decision that they make about their finances, about what they want to try. Your job as a network marketing professional, my job as a network marketing professional, is to focus on further education and further understanding. If you do that well, and every time you're inviting them to the next education and the next understanding and the next education and the next understanding, they will ask you for your link. Now, there will be a time you can go ahead and drop your link into the chat thread with them just so they don't need to ask you for it. That's fine too. But there will come a point once they know what Joy Oil can do for their brain, once they know what Super B can do for their emotions, once they know what Melissa can do for their body and celery seed and what are all the other oils that we love and we have passion, excitement around, once they know that information, you don't have to convince anybody of anything. And I don't know about you, but I'm personally not in the business of convincing anybody to do anything. I don't like that. I don't like the feeling. It makes me feel uncomfortable and yucky. I want them to make their decision, but I want it to be an educated decision. And so what I found is the mindset of just next education opportunity, next understanding opportunity has served me really well. So authentic invitations only work if you are genuinely interested in a win-win. Genuinely interested in a win-win. If you are not genuinely interested in them having a winning experience and you winning in your business, then anything other than that you're trying to say with that messaging, it will not work. If you're saying, hey, you know, I really think you would probably love these, checking out these products, and all you're thinking in the back of your head is, I really, really, really want to get a third enrollment for the month. If that's all you're thinking about, it's not going to be that fulfilling, exciting thing. And Jim Rohn, who is a total boss in this industry, if you've never heard him, I highly encourage you to go to YouTube and start binge listening to Jim Rohn. It's J-I-M and then Rohn is R-O-H-N. He talks about this thing called enlightened self-interest. Enlightened self-interest. This is a concept that we all have self-interest. It is who we are as humans. We're looking out for our best interest. But enlightened self-interest says, how can I create win-wins around me? How can I help them win and know that, like Zig Ziglar says, if I can help other people win, then I'm going to just win because that's what happens. So enlightened self-interest, if you're looking for bonus material on this topic, that would be my recommendation for enlightened self-interest. Go watch that on YouTube. All right, so here's why Young Living is different. And here's why, in my opinion, other network marketing companies have to teach a cold messaging approach. They have to teach a 100 message challenge approach. Why they have to do these scripts and these, like I was listening to this one, and there's nothing wrong with these companies in my opinion, but this one, there's called World Venture, and this guy was saying, whatever you do not mention your product on the invitation. Don't tell them what you're selling. Just get them to the meeting. And I just had to chuckle, because to me, when someone does that and they don't tell me exactly what they're inviting me to, I feel bamboozled. I feel confused. I feel frustrated. I feel like, just be straight up with me and tell me and let me make an educated decision. And he gave all of this verbiage on how to say, like, actually, like, it would be like trying to give you a haircut over the phone, Mary. I just can't tell you about it. You're just gonna have to come. And I'm like, okay, here is how, in my opinion, Young Living is different. Not that you need to give all the information or teach a class over the phone or anything like that. But I truly believe, in my truest heart of hearts, that everyone that I know is going to get Young Living products in their home at some point in their lifetime. And if they don't, then I just believe that they will at some point. Now, here's the differentiating factor. Are they going to get it from my neighbor down the street who happens to sell Young Living? Or are they going to get it from me? Are they going to get it from my aunt? Or are they going to get it from me? And the differentiating factor to me is that in Young Living, I truly believe everyone eventually will be using plants as medicine. And I believe Young Living is the purest, most amazing plants that can be replacement for what we're using as medicine today. I know for a fact about antibiotic resistance. I know all of these things that are going on that, in my opinion, Young Living is going to be the answer to it's the modern answer to what we're dealing with. It's the natural answer to the modern issues that we're dealing with. So because I believe that, and I believe that every person I'm talking to is eventually going to be a Young Living member, and I know that I want them to be with me, I have a different strategy than roping them into a meeting that they don't even know what it's about. That's not what I want to do. Instead, I want them to know I sell Young Living essential oils. So when they want it, when they decide to buy it, they know that, first of all, that I sell it, and number two, they feel connected enough and collaborative enough with me that they choose me as their person. The difference in the mindset in this single thing takes it from this week I'm going to get them enrolled to in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, when they enroll, I'm going to be the person that they enroll with. This mindset is creating sustainability. It creates a workflow that's not just this month, but it's like the next 10 years. If you know 100 people, which I know all of you know at least 100 people, like you have 100 people that you have at one point in time met and talked to. I would be very surprised if anyone on this call did not know 100 people. Just look at how many friends you have on Facebook, for example. Okay, if those 100 people got on Essential Rewards, it's called Loyalty Rewards, in your team, you would be hitting silver. Isn't that crazy? So that's you at silver if they're at a 100 PV. So that right there is silver. You can live on that income. Of course, we all have goals that are bigger than silver. We have goals for gold. We have goals for platinum, diamond, and all that. But I'm just painting the picture to show you that if you have this mindset of a small goal for a large group of people over an extended period of time, it will serve you so well. All right, so not to be confused with lackadaisical. Authentic inviting does not have to be confused with lackadaisical. You can authentically invite 100 people a day. That can absolutely happen. That can look just as tenacious as checking a list of 100 people, but you can do it in a way that is authentic and grounded and thinking about that other person on the other side of the message or on the other side of the phone every single time. That takes a level of enlightened self-interest that very few people ever tap into. That ability to go one after the other and keep the other person in their mind. There are people who want to grow a business and they don't understand how many invitations they are going to need to make in order to hit their goals. If they're inviting one person a day, that's more than 99% of people will ever do. And that is much smaller than most successful people have done. Most people who have hit the rank of silver or above, correct me if I'm wrong, silvers who are on here have invited more than one person a day, at least in the beginning of their launch phase. Excuse me. Okay, so does that mean one person a day is not enough? No, there's no such thing as not enough or is enough. There is just appropriate to the goals we set. All right, so let's keep going. The idea is that they know what we do without us even having to say this. Without even us having to say, I sell essential oils, they know that's what we do. Whether that's through us using them in front of them, us talking about it around them, us talking about it on social media and be connected with them. It's the goal is that they don't have to hear it from us. That is my goal, and that has served me really well. Okay, so what you don't want to happen is that you go down your beautiful life, you have friends, you have connections, you have community, and you're 77 years old and you're 85 years old, and they say, well, you do Young Living? I didn't know that. And you're like, oh, yep, I do. That is a problem. So I love the analogy that Jordan gave a few years ago when she taught this early and often. Talk about it early and often in the relationship. If you're meeting a new friend and they're like, so what do? You can say, I sell essential oils. What do you do? And just weave it into the conversation as fast as possible. If they don't know that you sell essential oils, they're absolutely not going to come to you to buy theirs. So you need to do a better job, and I need to do a better job of making sure that they have that information ahead of time. So that's the first thing, is early and often. I believe having an initial conversation, weaving it into that initial conversation, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong bringing that up as soon as possible without it being heavy. A lighthearted early and often is the best way to go. And then after that, after they know what you do, you're building trust for the long game and offering invitations when that relationship bridge can uphold that. So I like to talk about it like this, and everybody's different. Everybody has different analogies, but I like to see every relationship that I have as a piggy bank, and that piggy bank holds a specific relationship collateral. So for example, let's pretend this is a piggy bank. I'm sitting on Avalon's bed right now. So let's pretend this is a piggy bank because it has like a little zipper on the back. This is the monkey from the Young Living collection last Christmas. Okay. So every time, let's say this is my relationship with my friend Sam. Every time I see Sam, I am either making a deposit into the piggy bank. So I'm either adding to that collateral of the ability to be able to invite her to something, or I'm taking it out. If I call her and I say, hey Sam, I am down on my luck. My car just broke down. My tire is flat and I need a ride, and it's 2 a.m. Sam, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Can you come pick me up? I am withdrawing from that bank of times that I have hopefully been depositing into the piggy bank. But if I drop a little note in the mail to Sam that says, I love you, I'm thinking of you, I know September is your favorite month in the world, here's a little gift card for you to go get your favorite coffee, I am putting a deposit in. And here's what's so amazing. There are ways that you can deposit that are totally free. There are ways like when you see them, the tenacity of which you give them a big hug, the way that you embrace them, the way that you greet them, the way that you talk about them on social media, the way that you shout them out, the way that you refer networking connections to them for their business goals, the way that you send them whatever. There are so many creative ways to add value and build connection with people that have nothing to do with finances. And here's where it gets so much fun. When you realize that every relationship that you have has a bank and you are either withdrawing or taking out, you have to take a little bit of an audit on yourself and be like, all right, am I a giver or am I a taker in my relationship? And just think about that for a minute. And you know what? It's super convicting, so I don't want you to go into shame around this because it could be really easy to do. Like if you're like, man, I've been kind of a lazy spouse lately. Like I haven't been giving. I haven't been showing up with that like warm embrace or that readiness to smile or that readiness to give. Then I've been taking a lot out of my piggy bank. I can get creative. And here's the cool thing is for people who love rationalization, they love checklists or they love making sense of things. Because relationships are so elusive and it's so hard to like quantify how to build a relationship. This is a really easy way to just ask yourself, am I giving in this relationship or am I taking away? When you sit down with your binder, and I have mine over there, I meant to grab it so I could show you. When you sit down with your binder and you open up to your prospects tab, or when you're, if you don't use the binder and you use a spreadsheet and you open it up, you can ask yourself in that relationship right there, do I have enough collateral? Do I have enough money in the bank to take out? And ask them if they would like to take a look at what I've got going on. If you do, then you can cash in on those things and you can offer something that ends up benefiting them as well, even if they don't know it's going to benefit them in the long term. All right, so not to be confused with lackadaisical, 77-year, okay, early and often, initial conversation, build trust for the long haul. All right, when they know, like, and trust you, and when they know you do oils, and when they are ready for them, you are the person for the job. And sometimes that takes time. So if you have not been a person so far that's giving, then you might have some time that you're going to have to build up those banks. You might have 3 months where you're going to be pouring in a lot more than you're going to be getting out. And that is what makes you a better person. That's what actually makes life wonderful, is the relationships. Okay, so here's how to invite. I like having something specific to invite to, something that I'm genuinely excited about. So if it's a class that's like a fall themed DIY, or it's a bath bomb party, or if it's an iTovi scanner party, or if it's an iTovi scanner, one-on-one or coffee date, or playing pickleball together, or whatever I'm inviting to, it needs to be something that I'm actually excited about. And then from there, this is usually how I invite. I'll go to voice message and I'll open up my thread with them and I'll say, hey, we're having this thing. I thought of you because if I send you the information, would you like to come? And the key phrase here is, if I would you. If I were to send you the information, would you come? What you do not want to, or if I were to find an hour in my schedule that we could have coffee, would you want to have coffee with me? Hey, you want to grab coffee? That would work too. Really, when it's coming from your heart, there's no wrong way to do it. There's no wrong way. But what I've found is that when you are authentic, your voice has a way of sharing that authenticity. And so if you can share that invite with your voice, that's, in my opinion, more powerful than if you were to type it up. I think typing it up is fine if that's all you can do, but I think your voice is so powerful. So, your job is going to be, for next week, is going to be to figure out what to invite to. And we're going to talk about that next week. So you don't have to worry about that right now. You're going to decide between, am I going to teach a class? Am I going to have a coffee date? Am I going to, whatever. We're going to talk about how to actually present next week. But this week, what I want you to work on is practice making deposits with people and offering something to them, whether it's oils or not, with the if I would you. Now, if you want to jump ahead, this would be so amazing if you jump ahead and you say, all right, I'm going to teach a class, or even if it's online or have an iTovi. Yes, perfect. Heather is hosting an iTovi party in September. So Heather, you can work on this week. You can say, I'm having an iTovi scanning party. Bethany's coming with her iTovi scanner. If I were to send you the information, would you like to come? So that's going to be a perfect way to work on this. And I want you guys, this is the homework for 5 people this week at minimum. If you want to go extra, go more, but 5 people at minimum, invite them to something. Invite with a, if I would you. Invite them. You could even say with samples, if I send you this little sample bottle of oil, would you use it? And just practice that verbiage, and ideally with your voice. So that's the homework. All right. Now if we have an announcement, and I am so excited about this announcement. So, and this is just, here's my vision for skills training is that everything gets crammed into this 30 minutes where you can come get plugged in for 30 minutes and you don't miss any of the announcements, because I want you to know that you can have your life too, and this business fits in with that life. Your life doesn't have to revolve around this business. So what I'm trying to create here is that these 30 minutes have everything you need, and that's why I'm making the announcement now. So my sponsor, her name is Hannah Shanks. Those of you who know her, love her. She's awesome. She is, we spent the day together organizing and planning a September group that is going to be specifically focused on growth activities. So very similar to the 30 and 60. So the 30 and 60 for summer was where we had prompts every single day for you to have specific activities. And so this was Whitney's idea. Whitney, thank you for the 30 and 60. Hannah has been working with some other leaders in the past who have been doing this thing called the Mentor Collective, and many of you have probably been in it. And those other leaders have actually moved on and are no longer in Young Living. And so Hannah asked me if I would like to partner with her and do this. And I've really been wanting to be a part of this anyway for a while. So this was very exciting. And I said, absolutely, I would love to. So we spent the day getting all of our tasks ready. And here's the difference between 30 and 60 and this one that we're going to do. For 30 and 60, the reward was a $25 credit for anyone who completed the 30 and 60 challenge it for every single day. This challenge is different in the way that you do not have to follow the prompts exactly in order to earn the prize. And the prize is so I'm trying to say it clearly. I'm not really great at this. The prize is for every person who enrolls 3 people in the month of September with 100 PV is going to get a mystery box from Hannah and I, where we're going to put together, everyone's box is going to be different, a bunch of fun stuff that we have gotten that we want to give to you. So your box is going to be custom to you, and this will be for everyone who's in that group. So there are 5 pieces of the daily habits over there in Hannah and I's group, and we're theming it. We are theming it for Mario Kart. And so Mario Kart is my favorite game. I love it. So it's called September Power Up, and you're going to see the little mushroom all the time. The mushroom is like our little icon. And so the 5 things are: first, every day you're going to do a post on social media, and we give you a specific prompt or an idea for that, but we are not holding you to follow to that prompt. So you can do it whatever you want to talk about, but we did give you, we did create like template. The next thing is a initial, like starting a conversation with 5 people, and we give specific things on that as well. And then the next one is, let's see if I can remember, even though I've worked on it all day, I don't have it in front of me. The next one is follow up. The next one is social media. And then gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, there's 5 things every single day, and we have specific prompts for each one. So how you get in this group, if you want to be a part of it, it's free for you. You do not have to pay anything. It's literally just for our team for fun. All brand partners are welcome. You'll not be held responsible to do anything, although we do hope that you engage and become, excited in there. Right after skills training, I will post a graphic that says free mystery, or, mystery box when you enroll 3 and whatever. And I'll give the write-up. I'll post a how to get in the group. Like, here's the link to join the group and everything. But I'm going to do that in a separate post so that if people did not watch skills training tonight, they won't not know what's going on. So that'll be available right after this. And so let's just summarize real quick to end skills training. So here is the homework for this week. So tonight was on inviting prospects. So you are going to invite 5 people to something, and you're going to tell us what you're inviting them to in the comments. That'll be a fun way to get engagement. So what are you going to invite them to? And practice saying, if I sent you this information, would you want to do it? Or something like that. So that's your homework for tonight. And yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, I saw a question that I will address because, I don't know if anybody else has been wondering this, but, Jen asked what's going on with Young Living. People are leaving, or why are people leaving what company? I feel like I have no idea. First thing I want you to know, in my opinion, is that there are people leave companies all the time. And so I've seen a lot of people get really distracted around what's going on in other places. What that is our brain is thinking we are missing out on something, that there's some sort of information. I can tell you can go down that rabbit hole. You can look into all that information. You can find out whatever, but you will find that you're just going around and around and around. Basically, what's going on is that some people left Young Living, 2 or 3 people who happen to be pretty close to me. And so the reason you're probably hearing about it is because they are close friends that I've collaborated with in the past. And it's sad, but at the same time, everyone's on their own journey. And so I love Young Living. I'm here. I love this business. I think it's the best business model in the world. I think it's the best company in the world. I think after this little economy situation that we've got going on, we are going to see some of the most insane growth in our company, in our team that we've ever seen before. And I know that the people who are working right now are going to see massive excitement. Now, something about that I love about what I love about Young Living and what you're going to love about Hannah when you get to know her is she is one of the most consistent people that you have ever met. And she's very much like consistency pays off, and don't get distracted by the hustle and bustle of what can happen. And that is one thing that I admire about her and I love about her. So I'm so excited for you guys to get to see that from her. Friends, thank you for being on tonight. I hope you have an amazing night. And yeah, I'll post that information here in a little bit, like right after this call. All right, bye.